my daily life has been basically doing music with displaced people, uh, either teaching them music or writing music with them or producing the songs that they're writing or writing music myself with musicians. So it has affected me in every possible way, honestly, like the whole situation that's happening right now in my community. As a person, as a human, it affecting me 24/7. And so, of course, as a musician, it affects me 24/7. There is urgency that I'm feeling here in my daily life. And as a musician, my first reaction was, okay, what can I do to be helpful in this situation? And as a musician, my first answer was to do something through music, because I was thinking, but I don't know, like there is not another way right now for me to think, because I have to put my energy, the most energy I can, to be the most impactful. And I think for personally, this is how I can be the most impactful. Someone else can be impactful in other ways. So the first people who were reaching out were, let's say, the NGOs or the non-profits or the hotels or the, I don't know, church organizations who were welcoming these people. They saw us. It was not directly the families, because these families were in a state of shock. And they were saying, okay, we have like, let's say 50, 60 people in a hotel. Like imagine a tourism hotel that now, of course, because of COVID, there is no tourism as well. And so 100% of the people staying in the hotels are people who are displaced people. So, and then, so we had like kind of middle people who were doing also bringing aid and relief to these people. And they were saying, so what they were saying was that these people living very difficult conditions, they left everything. They really took the minimum they could take. And now their cities are being bombed. So probably they don't have homes anymore. And so these kids, like there are no men, all the fathers and the brothers, like the adult men are not here. They're all in the front lines. And so it's just thousands of mothers and kids and teenagers and grandmas and grandfathers, like old people. And for the kid, it's very difficult because the trauma of waking up and hearing bombs and leaving and taking the minimum, not knowing when they're going to go back, not knowing when the war is going to stop, not knowing if their homes still exist. And a big thing is boredom, because a lot of kids for now, it's very difficult to get them to go to school. So they're just all day in the same place, probably hearing the television, the news, and seeing their mothers were super, like, were trying to get it together, but we saw how they are. Like they have no news from their husbands. They don't know they cannot talk to their husbands. They don't know if they're alive. They don't know. Anyways, and so these kids are just like running around the hotels. They don't have like an education. They don't have an occupation. So the first thing for us was, let's get them like let's bring them something different than the war, even if it's like a couple of hours a day. We see direct changes in their behavior, especially I would say with teenagers and teenage boys who are like this, because they know that they are the next ones. Because of this situation, unfortunately, there is compulsory military. Like you have to go 2 years. So when you're 18, you have to go. And most of these victims are like these 18 to 20-year-old kids. A lot of them, I can feel that they're very angry to be here, and they're not fighting with like their friends or their brothers just for a question of 2 or 3 year olds. So I see this nervousness, but we arrive there and we start, like, for instance, we have these buckets, trash cans, and we do rhythm with them. Just the fact that we arrive, and obviously we're open to hear them, but we'll bring something different. Like we're bringing a different energy, and let's just concentrate and let's just hold the beat together. And look, guys, pay attention. You're not together. I don't hear this together. And so we're kind of shifting their energy towards something very specific, which is, let's say, keep a beat, or play together, or start together, or have these polyrhythmic things. So really, I feel that there is a shift of their energy And also it's like the physical thing of like hitting a drum. For them it's very therapeutical for this group of age. Every time we have an interaction, it gives us new idea. Also it creates it brings us new streams of creativity. uh, with my friends, we were in the north of Armenia, and we had just done some workshop with the kids, and then at the end, us, the musicians and psychologists, we were having a conversation with the parents, with the moms and the grandmas. And so these mothers, there was a mother who was super active, and she's like, maybe we should do a talent show in the hotel we're staying because there are a lot of talented people. Blah, blah, blah. And then a grandma started to sing out of nowhere, and she has a great voice. And we said, okay, can we record you? So we the next day we recorded her. She sang like for an hour for us, and we're just recording. And now we're kind of producing what she's doing, even if they're in very precarious conditions and they're traumatized. A lot of them, they have a lot of light in them, you know, and it's very beautiful to see that. It's very strong. Although I'm born and raised in France. From my parents are ethnically Armenians. Um, So I think that growing up in Paris, which is very multicultural, and like being having a very Armenian culture at home, but also being very, very open to a lot of other cultures, is was a blessing, you know. And for me, Armenian folk, it's very connected to me, to to my soul. Uh, but because I grew up in Paris, and because I had a classical uh, how can I say, education, classical music training, but also listening to a lot of like urban music and French music and stuff like that. But it also gave me I think more tolerance and like understanding of the other, that okay, you have what you have, and what I have is my wealth. And also my wealth is to be able to experience other people's identities also as well. I always refer like to, let's say, a band or an orchestra. It's like a tiny society. There are a lot of like life skills or human social skills that you learn through that, which is like, okay, let's pay attention. Let's wait for each other's turns, or let's listen to each other, or let's start together, or let's finish together. All these little codes that then teach you to be respectful of your community. I think that for this music listening and like experiencing music together, either playing music together or writing music together or listening to music together, you learn to live like together. The group and the communal component of it is also very healing, and making everyone be better people, because we all have egos, and it's important to have an ego, but sometimes it's important to calm down the ego and to strive to something beautiful together, you know. It's very easy to become to yeah, to be a victim of hatred, but we cannot do that. We have to stay, we have to humanize also this whole thing, because a war is not just, it's not just governments, it's, and the soldiers are they have families, they are humans from both sides. This is part of a bigger scheme that's bigger than us. And I really hope that through music, through art, through we can find ways to connect on that level and realize that we are stronger than the governments, and that love has to win over all of this.